Hi guys, I'm going to review the distributive property with you today. All right, some of you had a hard time with this on homework last night, and I just want to make sure that we really understand how this property works. Okay, so say we take a problem 27 times 8, okay? We make a rectangle. This is the visual way to do it. Make a rectangle that's 27 by 8 units, okay? And then you want to think to yourself, how would I break up 27 to make it an easier number to work with? So most of the time you just take it and kind of split it in half. 27 is the same thing as 20 plus 7, right? So that means down here we have 20 and 7, and up here we have 20 and 7. If we have 8 on this side, we have 8 on the other side. Okay, now we can find the partial products, which means the products of the smaller parts of this rectangle broken up. So the first thing I'm going to do is 8 times 20, okay, to find this large area. Since I know 8 times 2 is 16, just put 0 on the end, and that's 160. Then I'm going to go over here. I've got 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56. All right, so that means my two partial products are 56 and 160. I take 160 and add it to 56, and I get 216, and that's my answer. Okay, now that you know how to multiply like what we did in class today, using the standard algorithm, you can just multiply like this. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 5 is 21. So that means we know this is correct. All right. The other thing you can do, let me see if I can clear this off. If we have 27 times 8 and we want to use the distributive property, well, first of all, I need to switch these two around. 8 times 27, because I know that the smaller number is going to go first when I do the distributive property. Okay, 8 times 27 would mean 8 times 20 plus 7, because like we said before, that was the easiest way to break up 27 into 20 plus 7. Okay, it's called the distributive property because you take the 8 and you distribute it. You multiply it by each of the numbers in parentheses. So 8 times 20 plus 7 becomes 8 times 20 plus 8 times 7. 8 times 20 is 160. 8 times 7 is 56. And then you do the same thing as you did before. 160 plus 56 is 216. Okay, so this is just the way to do this with multiplication if you didn't want to draw that rectangle. But you will see questions like this on your test, and you will see this again where you have a number and you have to multiply it out. Okay, I'm going to try one more like this without the rectangle but just with the multiplication. So let's see. Let's do 5 times 67. Okay, so again, you think of that number 67. It would be 5 times 60 plus 7, all right, because we break it up into two parts. The number in the tens column, 6, represents 60, and then the 7 just represents 7, all right. We're going to have to give the 5 to the 60 and to the 7, okay, so that's going to be 5 times 60 plus 5 times 7, those are our partial products. 5 times 60, 5 times 6 is 30, and then we have an extra 0, so it's 300. 5 times 7 is 35, making our answer 335. Now, do you think you can check this? You should be saying yes. 67 times 5 with the regular algorithm, what we learned in class today. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33, so we know we're right. Okay, so hopefully for those of you who had a little trouble with the homework, this makes a little bit more sense. And now, to prove to me that you watched this video and you watched the whole thing and didn't just start at the beginning and stop some point, I would like you to try one example, and you can write it on a piece of paper, you can write it on a post-it, an index card, whatever you want to write it on, and bring it to class tomorrow, and I will give you a ticket if you have this done correctly. Okay, so we're trying to use the distributive property. We're going to do 6 times 49, all right? So you can either do this with a rectangle, 6 and 49, or you can do it 6 times 40 plus 9. I just gave you a hint there, okay? And then multiply it this way. All right, so good luck. Remember, bring this in for a ticket tomorrow, and I hope it helped. Have a good night.